As one of the only locally owned businesses in Albuquerque, Gala Chevrolet understands the importance of giving back to our community. And you'll feel good knowing the money you spend here helps make this a better place to live. Support the dealership that supports Albuquerque, the all-new Gala Chevrolet.
When I train for American Ninja Warrior, I schedule regular workouts to stay in shape. To keep my car in Ninja Tough shape, I head to a Napa Auto Care Center for regular maintenance and genuine Napa Auto parts, like brakes and batteries. I trust my Napa Auto Care Center for quality parts and quality service. And with the 24-month, 24,000-mile nationwide warranty, I drive away with peace of mind every time. Visit AutoCareNM.com to find a location near you.
Dreamstyle Remodeling has been wowing homeowners in New Mexico since 1989. Selected as Best Custom Home Remodeler for 3 consecutive years by readers of the Albuquerque Journal, we're also your exclusive provider for top home improvement brands like Renewal by Anderson, Four Seasons, Blaze King, and many others. Founded and headquartered in Albuquerque, Dreamstyle Remodeling is family-owned and now employs more than 500 people across the southwestern U.S. In fact, we've helped more than 60,000 homeowners improve their home in New Mexico, Arizona, California, Idaho, and West Texas. We're committed to providing a superior customer experience. We've earned 4.6 stars with hundreds of online reviews and have an A+ with the BBB. Dreamstyle Remodeling is a proud supporter of UNM Athletics. Visit our beautiful 10,000 square foot showroom at 1460 Renaissance Boulevard across from Sam's Club or DreamstyleRemodeling.com to make your home remodeling dreams come true.
Nothing completes a trip downtown like a visit to Lindy's Cafe. You won't find a more relaxing restaurant to unwind at. Located on 5th and Central, proud supporters of Proview Networks, Lindy's strives to be a friendly and welcoming place.
Lindy's, a great place to be seen.
Car Crafters, proud supporter of Proview Sports Network.
Are you sure we're supposed to be doing this?
Don't worry, I've watched him do it 1,000 times. Come on, what's the worst that can happen?
No! Bad dog!
Hi, welcome to Car Crafters. What happened?
Don't worry, we'll make it like it never happened.
Car Crafters, it's like it never happened.
The Sports Desk is proudly presented by Car Crafters. It's like it never happened.
Alden Iowani, our fine director. Ed Nunez is on assignment, and we bring in our co-host, Steve Davis. We're going to talk a little bit of sports. And first off, Steve, I wanted to talk a little bit about what's going on with Proview Networks. New Mexico games starting up. Kind of hard to believe you had Fred Holtberg on your show last week, and hard to believe that's up and running.
Well, I'll tell you what, the year's coming to an end. I want to thank you and our staff and everybody for getting, we got, hopefully, knock on wood, and everything goes good this weekend with, the softball and baseball and track that's going to come up over Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and actually starting other places on Wednesday. So, what a good year, and it's coming to a close. But, most of the time, I'm glad you brought that question up. Most of the time people think that, or even with us, we think we have a break, but
right.
There's so many things now that Proview's doing and involved with is, usually our June and July schedule is like very, very, sporadic, but now it's not. Legacy Boxing on June 23rd. There's going to be another boxing match at Route 66 that was a very great success a couple months ago, and we've got the we've got the the Gladiators, and they're winning. They're 7-1. And,
yeah.
I mean, you had Dominic Bramante on the Steve Davis show yesterday, and people don't know that they're going to go on the road. They're the #1 team in their conference, and they're going to, if they win the conference or win out, they're going to have 4 home games. Like all of a sudden, so we're looking forward to that. And then guess the Soul, they're starting up next week, and then Great Southwest Track Meet is coming up. The Special Olympics. I mean, it just I was looking at our calendar, and our next 2 months, and just don't forget about the coaches, Busty Mabry, and what a great job he's done. He's moving all the games to 1 week. So if you're a sports fanatic, you got softball, baseball, football, volleyball, girls and boys basketball, all in 1 week, and it's over like 30.
So it's not going to be some in June and some in July anymore. It's going to be in 1 week. Okay.
And so that's going to be June. I can't think right off the top of my head, but I think it's going to be around June 9th or 10th.
I'd imagine that makes more sense because you get some of the players who are going on to college that may not be able to play later.
Well, that was exactly the reason why. A lot of the star players, the New Mexico players, they're already in school, or they're already in. If they expect
already getting ready to go to school, right?
Then football, they're already they're already in 2-a-days. So, and then also a lot of players, if they got injured, they were worried about, I don't want to start the season off. So, great foresight by Busty Mabry to think that through and get it accomplished. And so that's you asked me these questions. You caught me out here. I'm rattling off thinking I don't have anything to do next week, but it's really pretty amazing what Proview Networks has evolved into, and how many. And let's don't forget about we got the baseball, a lot of games on the west side with that new facility on the west side. So those are going to be a lot of weekends, and then the one that we kind of passed over is the New Mexico games, and we're going to do 3 sports in there. We're going to do volleyball, baseball, and also basketball. So it's a full slate all the way up to July. I could take a break maybe in July.
Well, it's funny. Everyone always thinks that, as you mentioned, this is a dead time. This is actually one of your more busier times, and you're always busy.
Well, really, too, there's also planning for next year.
That's why you're always busy.
I mean, getting ready for the next. Well, we always have 3 months in advance of our schedule. I'm sure the football schedule has came out for next year, so we'll have that probably be in late August or so, and we have Yaffle that we have to fit in there too. So it just seems like it's a year-round type.
By the way, you knew the Yaffle starts in what, a couple months?
Yeah, it's August 8th. Okay,
it comes up quick.
And you're thinking that when do you have break? And I was just looking at July. Usually July 4th is the weekend that's very, very, very low. But there's so many things going on with, especially with that baseball field out on down, and I can't wait to do that because it's going to be state of art, and I want to thank the city councilors, Dan Lewis and Ken Sanchez and Brad Winters, and seeing the future of that area that's going to be there, and what it's going to bring. It's going to bring hospitals. It's going to bring a lot of things that the west side needs. So the infrastructure's in deal, and now it's with the economic. What I understand is that place is sold out every weekend. I mean, if you wanted to go play baseball right now, that's how big of a demand there was.
Yeah, that's awesome. One thing that you brought up, Steve, and we're with Steve Davis, the co-host of the show here on the Sports Desk. One thing that you brought up that I want to expand on, Legacy Boxing, the events at Route 66 Casino. You and I were sitting next to each other for most of that event the last time around, and what a fun event. And it was amazing because it started out kind of a smattering of people. More people came in, people kept coming into that event the entire night. and it turned out being a really, really good crowd and great bouts.
Well, Jordan and Aaron Perez, the Perez brothers, I call them, and I'm butchering their name. They're from Mexico, and I'm saying it from the eastern closest to Mexico. But you know, Perez Collision. You know, what a class act those two guys are to bring local talent and to have the interest of the fighters. It's not about them, you know, making the big money. It's about, you know, what boxing has done for their family. And you know, and Aaron's got 2 sons, Aaron, and Aaron's got Angel.
Right.
He won his first pro fight. His other son's going to Clovis and fighting in AAU, or you know that Golden Gloves, I guess, Golden Gloves boxing. So it's neat to see them develop and see them move up as promoters of the sport, and you know, maybe we'll see a new, you know, Tapia coming up, or Danny Romero, or you know, something with these young guys doing it. It's kind of neat for us to be part of that.
And the thing is, you could tell that all the fighters who were on that event card the last time out, when Proview Sports Comcast 26 aired it live about a month or so ago, that just, you know, all the stables of the boxers, I mean, all the support staff, you could tell everyone was engaged in the event. And you know,
well,
you can call it what you want, but I mean, I'm in there watching it just kind of from an outsider looking in kind of point of view, and it had the feel of big time fighting.
Well, one, the venue's great. Okay, the way they had the VIP sitting up on the stage, and then you had eye view of the fight. That was awesome. And then you have the seats.
There's not a bad seat in the house to watch that.
Right,
yeah.
And you can sit back and you're comfortable. And then we want to thank Route 66 for what they have brought to the Perez brothers, and part of that was because Proview was part of this. So that we're both companies are growing together.
Right.
So, and now what you're seeing is in value in both companies.
Right, absolutely. Well, what are some of the other things that have kind of been on your plate? What are some of the things that have impressed you this school year, if you will, on what Proview and what we've done?
Well, I think the biggest thing is with no budget, okay, putting that out there is with no budget and great sponsors that have stepped up, and that's Dream Style and Car Crafters, Napa, Garden Sports. I'm just thinking off the top of my head, and of the great people that we have doing this, and it wouldn't happen without them, without their support, and Wyndham Hotel, those type of sponsors, they've come through big time. As we all know, we don't ever want to forget Frontier and
Golden Pride,
and Golden Pride, what they do for Proview Networks.
Right.
It's be very humble. We wouldn't be here without them.
Right.
But what we've done, we strive again this year. Every year. If you think about Proview, and you've watched it evolve, since you've been here. When we first started, we didn't have the scoreboards.
Right.
We just got the game up, and then the technology was bad. Then we got the scoreboard up.
And some of the games didn't have multiple cameras, and you were kind of spread thin. And then, I'll step in real quick and let you kind of fill in the blanks. The metamorphosis has gone from no scoreboard to everything else, to full-blown graphics, to full-blown everything, to replays. I mean, the clock. The crew has done a phenomenal job of developing each and every element of the broadcast.
Well, my background is coming from sports, and the coach is only good as his players. In this case, the ownership is only as good as the people that work for him.
Right.
Okay, and they really stepped up this
yes,
year.
They have.
They've taken a lot of pride, and I'm proud of them for what they do. And you see it in what we have done. And you take this, the history of Proview, and see where it started and where it comes to now. It's like, it's before it was like, why are you here? And now is it why aren't you here?
Yeah, we've had that conversation.
And I'm very big on that type of what Proview is. I'm very proud of that fact, And then the last thing I really want to do is, we strived again and we got it statewide. I mean, you look at accomplishments to do it. We took it statewide. And we got good ratings. We got one. We proved everybody wrong. Well, you won't get ratings. You won't get this. You won't get that. And so those challenges have been. And so next year's, and we.
And sometimes ratings don't equate to interest. You also got interest because people wanted to watch the games, which made the ratings even go higher.
Well, and what was even better
didn't hurt that you had great games.
And a lot of those games, we didn't know we were going to do it until the night before.
Right.
And that was what was even more greater from my standpoint is the demand that New Mexico has on their high school sports and youth sports and college it's there, and Proview has proven that there's a market for that, and the sponsorships that we have are seeing the value of what we can do for them instead of them doing something for us.
Well, Steve, as always, it's been a pleasure.
Well, thank you for letting me come on for a little bit.
Well, we're definitely going to do that more often, but Steve Davis here on the Sports Desk. We'll take a break. We have the Dream Style Top 10 Plays of the Week.
Play at the plate, safe. What a slide by Wilson.
Harden is off the plate, and now he's going to run to home, and we've got a pickle here. And Harden going to go diving in, and he's safe.
Safe. Runner goes to second. Out at second.
Got her.
Out at second, so. Swung on first pitch. Oh, nice catch, left. Took the ball well. Execute defensively. Runner's going to second. There's the tag. Runner's out. Oh, what a catch in right field.
Nice catch.
What a catch in right field to retire Niven. Great catch out there. What about swinging? Here's the payoff. Swung on. It's a deep left field.
Whoa.
That ball is gone.
It's gone.
Two-run home run by Aaliyah Hibben. That puts Volcano Vista up 2-0. Hibben waits and takes some good pitches, works the count to a full count, and hits the payoff pitch for a two-run homer to left field. Roger, great.
Here's Andres Quintana, and this one is skyrocketed deep out to center field, and that baby is gone.
And welcome back here on the Sports Desk. Scott Galletti, now joined by Adam Deal as we move along here talking sports. Thanks to Steve Davis for jumping on. And Adam, wanted to talk to you about the brackets. Obviously, you did an outstanding job. You, Sebastian, and Richard Tripp, who's back in the fold full time, I guess. Nice to see him back, especially the shout-outs.
Yeah.
So that's always fun to see. But
it's not a bracket breakdown or a selection show or whatever whatever we have here at Proview Networks, unless Richard Tripp is a part of it. So.
Right. So he's one of the innovators of the shout-out. So that was nice seeing everything back. But let's take a look at the softball. You're ultimately responsible for everything that goes on here at ProView program-wise, but you're also extremely knowledgeable on what's going on in terms of the matchups. And let's take a look now at the first one that Alden Iowani has, and this is A3A. And you got Dexter, Loving, Tularosa, and Raton. Those all are going at it. The first round is happening here today.
Yeah, things are going on right now. It's double elimination, right? Softball ends up always being really exciting. Do not mess with the #1 seed, the Dexter Demons. Their history is behind them, but they are loaded this year. Power hitting team, right? They go yard a lot. In fact, they average 2 home runs a game, Scott. So Dexter really good, yeah. And so I think Dexter ends up making their run through this thing. But double elimination softball, you always see crazy stuff happen, so you never know.
Let's move on to the 3A now, actually the 4A now for softball. 3A is baseball. There's 4A. You have Silver, Robertson at #4, Bernalillo #2, Cobre is #3. And, you know, when I think of softball, Adam, my first year was in 2013 with ProView Networks. Cobre was the class.
Cobre, and then Silver's always right there, and Silver and Cobre have a nice rivalry, and that's something you could see later down the line in this tournament. But Bernalillo having their best season in 10 years. They're the 2 seed overall. Wouldn't be surprised if the Spartans could make a run as well, as they're well-deserved where they're at. But yeah, I'm with you. Cobre and Silver kind of been the class for 4A.
Take a look now at 5A in softball, and you have Artesia at #1. You have Los Lunas at the bottom. They're at #4 of that bracket. Lovington #2, and Valencia is #3. And then you've got other teams kind of waiting in the wings.
Yeah, I wouldn't call them a dark horse because they're really not, and that's Farmington. Watch them at the 5 seed. They've got Deming today in the first round of the double elimination, and then a tough one maybe against Los Lunas. But I think if you're looking for a dark horse in this bracket, Farmington. Of course, you see Artesia is the favorite, but I'll say that Lovington has an outside chance because they're very familiar with Artesia and they've beaten them this year.
And you look at the other bracket, 6A, which they start off tomorrow, and multiple locations, of course. And you got Volcano Vista #1. You got Carlsbad 3 at the bottom, Rio Rancho #2, Oñate at #4. And, you know, one team that I've seen, Adam, that I wouldn't want to count out, believe it or not, at #8 is La Cueva.
Yeah, and it's get this. So a team like Cibola didn't make the tournament, or Cleveland, their district's so tough this year, and Cleveland in it, but Cibola did not make the tournament. And it's curious because you know they were 16-9, right? And Alden Iowani, he's upset. He's directing right now, and he's a Cibola alum. But the reason why they didn't make it, they had to be seated behind Piedra Vista by rule. Piedra Vista barely sneaks into the tournament because they had a terrible non-conference schedule and didn't win a lot of games. And so Cibola gets left out of this, and a lot of people say, okay, well, this is why they think softball shouldn't be cut to 12 teams and it should be back to 16 teams. But that's an argument that people can have. When you look at this bracket, man, I'm all about my Rams. You know what I mean? Like, how could I go against my alum, Scott? I know they've got Volcano Vista. They just beat Volcano Vista, by the way, last week.
Yeah, talking about a team on the rise. I mean, they're playing their best softball of the season right now.
Yeah, so, hey, nothing against Volcano Vista. Surely they can make it happen, but I'm going with my dark horse Rams.
And Volcano Vista, a team that rose to #1. I saw them play La Cueva, and it was a great game. It was a long game. It was a lot of runs, and ended up in the Metro tournament, and ended up La Cueva coming out with the win. And, you know, now you got Volcano Vista at #1, but like you said,
this
Rio
year's
Rancho.
more open than any year.
Yeah.
And we've seen some crazy stuff
that
happen in softball, but Volcano Vista has not owned the season this year, though they won the hardest district. Carlsbad and Oñate just a year removed from state champs, obviously can get it done as well, so a lot in front of us.
Yeah, and the impressive thing about Rio Rancho is the fact that they've gone from kind of a so-so start to the season to, you know, they're almost the equivalent of La Cueva now, baseball-wise.
Yeah,
because they're hard to beat.
Yes, absolutely. And I'm telling you, even La Cueva, Cleveland, that matchup is interesting. Sandia's had a really nice year, and Piedra Vista's playing better now as they got into the tournament. So I just feel like there's really good matchups, and anybody can kind of take this double elimination.
Quick look at the baseball brackets here, and these were the beginning as you've got A, 2A, and you know, these are going on today. You've got Mesilla Valley, and you got Gateway Christian, Mora #2, and Melrose is #3.
Yeah, and Mesilla Valley, another really good year for them. Melrose, my dark horse, is the 3 seed. They have so many good athletes out of Melrose this year. Competed really well in track. I know some of those athletes, dual athletes from track and baseball. Melrose a dark horse for me.
Quick look now at 3A as we'll go through 3A. And Texaco defeated Zuni, so they will take on Laguna Acoma. That is in the second round. And then you got Eunice against Capitan. You got Santa Rosa against Dexter, Tucumcari against Estancia. So that is what's going on here today, actually, May 9th. And moving on to 4A, these games will be played tomorrow, which is May 10. And in 4A, you've got Hope Christian, who defeated Navajo Prep 2-0. And they only outscored them 46-0 in doing so, so that's pretty impressive. They're playing Cobre at 7 o'clock tomorrow at Rio Rancho High School. You got Santa Fe Indian against Portales, also at Rio Rancho High School at 10 o'clock. Robertson Bernalillo, that is at 4 p.m. tomorrow. And St. Mike's against Silver, the number 2 seed. And that game will be played at 1 o'clock
How
at
good
Rio
does
Rancho.
Hope Christian look? You know, I mean, Hope Christian, this could be their year. That
I knew they were good, but I didn't know they were that good.
Yeah, they've got some difficult competition in front of them, but Hope Christian looking fantastic, and the favorites, no doubt, to win the 4A bracket.
Yeah, absolutely. 5A now. Let's look at the matchups. These also at either St. Pius or SASF. What is that?
That is the Star Centerfield, Santa Ana Star.
Santa Ana Star. Okay,
yeah,
so thanks
Lobo
for
Field, yes.
Lobo. Oh,
yeah, there we go.
Lobo Field. Okay, I'm not used to seeing it in abbreviation.
Yeah.
Okay, so this one will be at St. Pius. It's Goddard Miyamura. That's at 12 o'clock tomorrow. That being Thursday. 3 o'clock game also at St. Pius. Artesia, number 5 seed, against number 4 Belen. And then you got a 10 o'clock matchup. This is at Santa Ana Starfield, St. Pius against Deming, and Albuquerque Academy against number 2 seed Farmington. That's the 1 o'clock game.
I picked St. Pius to win this bracket. It could be close. Goddard's very good. They're going to make another run again. I think they've got a tough road, though.
Yeah, St. Pius, extremely good, and that's another team that's really been rising since the start of the season. Let's go to 6A finally. We've got La Cueva and Cleveland, number 1 against number 8. That's at Isotopes Park. That'll be Thursday night at 7 p.m. The 4 and the 5 seed, number 4 Clovis against number 5 Carlsbad. That's at 4 p.m. at Santa Ana Star Field. Then the other 2 matchups in semifinal will be 7 o'clock tomorrow at Santa Ana Star Field. Piedra Vista and Volcano Vista. Rio Rancho taking on Centennial. That will be at 4 o'clock. And Rio Rancho, of course, beating El Dorado 2-1. And the other 2-1 winners, La Cueva against the Trisco Heritage and Carlsbad against Mayfield. So we've had some pretty close playoffs.
La Cueva escaped the 1-16 upset. It almost happened at Trisco. I'll tell you, the matchup between La Cueva and Cleveland is going to be fantastic tomorrow at Isotope Park. You've got Jack Morano, and you would imagine Showman's going to pitch for La Cueva. I'll tell you what, I promise this, I really mean it. Anybody can win this quarterfinal next round to set up the semifinals, and I mean anyone. La Cueva is not safe at that 1 seed, I promise you that.
And very quickly, Adam, sum up what's going on with you and Proview.
Yeah, Proview, what a great year it has been for our crew. Aldini Iwani is directing, Jason Pohl, Josh Brown, our president and owner, Steve Davis, and we have done a great job, Scott, and I know you've been a part of it, and so have our announcing crew, to build something special. This channel on Comcast 26, New Mexico's first and only 24/7 network. So that being said, we continue to grow, and we have more for you coming next year. We also have summer events for you. Duke City Gladiators, very good. They're going to be in the playoffs and host some games in the Soul, and we'll do that. But Scott, we're going to continue to grow, and next year we'll even have more broadcasts, better quality for you, and we'll continue to grow.
Sounds good. Love hearing that. Thanks to you for coming on, Adam. I know I caught you on a busy day. And Ed Nunez will be back next week, so we look forward to that. And thanks, as always, to Aldini Iwani, Jason Pohl, you mentioned, Josh Brown. What a crew.
They're the best. You can watch all these games coming up. You could watch them on the NFHS network.
Yes, sir. He's Adam Deal. Thanks to Steve Davis. Until next week, Scott Coletti saying so long from the Sports Desk.